Hi, this is Jim Gibson. Thank you for coming to my channel today. Very much appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking with a young entrepreneur. Very impressed with this young man and what he's doing and how he is growing a small business right in Oceanside, California. And so it's a great example how to start a small business. It's a great example on how to run a small business. But there's one thing I want to tell you about is stay to the end. Because at the end, we're going to do a little critique as to what he did right and what I think he needs to work on to make his business successful. Now, I'm going to say that based on the fact that been in business for almost 30 years, business to business type of environment. We used to cable buildings, things like that, put in IT equipment and everything else. So I've learned a lot by watching other businesses and how they succeed and also how they failed. So stay to the end. And we'll do a little critique on this man's business, and fantastic business. He's doing a lot of things right. So let's take a look at what he says in the interview. Let's get going with it. So my name is Jim Gibson.
Hi, Jim.
And this is my business YouTube account. And you're the owner of this site, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, fantastic. Let me take a look at it here. So I'd encourage anybody who's walking what they call the Strand in Oceanside,
yep.
right there's
right
the
here.
beach, you're right underneath the pier and everything else. So I'd encourage all those people to come down and get some popcorn here. What else you sell? Lemonade?
We sell fresh squeezed lemonade. So we slice lemons right here, and then we press them with our pneumatic press here. And we just add sugar, water, ice, and we serve them up right here to you. And we sell the real stuff. So
well,
same with the kettle corn. The kettle corn's all made right here.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Great.
Real ingredients and things like that. Nothing.
Yeah. How long you been doing this?
I started when I was a junior in high school, so that was about 5 years ago. I was working for someone else at the time and worked for him a few times. And one time he just decided to kind of ghost us, I guess. And from there I set out and decided that I could do it myself. And I created a little business plan, which I didn't really know what I was doing, you know, junior in high school, right? I was more of an engineering student, so it was kind of weird to jump into business. But created a business plan, and from there I borrowed some money from a family friend and then from an uncle, and I was able to fund the beginning operations and buy up some equipment and start popping up at events and things like that.
Oh,
so
and you've been doing this for, you said 5 years now?
Yeah, about 5 years. So we've only been down here on the beach since last June, so we've almost been here a year.
So June 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
So right in the middle of COVID. But
you pull down your mask.
Sure, yeah.
They speak clearer with that down.
Yeah, I know, right? The mask is not the most
convenient
thing, right?
Well, fantastic. So obviously you're making money, right?
Yeah, you know, sometimes. Yeah, no, we're definitely making money. It's profitable, of course. I mean, it's popcorn. It's not. We're in a prime location, so we're right on the beach. Thousands of people come by every day. Not here, but around the beach. And so we'll actually be opening a second booth in about a few weeks now.
Down the street?
Quarter mile down the beach. Yeah, it'll be down at Tyson Park.
Tyson Park?
So it'll be like just a lemonade booth. We're gonna do some more flavors and some more fun stuff, some more crafty things.
Well, what caused you to become an entrepreneur?
Say it again?
What caused you to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I kind of always knew if I wanted to have the money to do what I want to do, I need to create something and be in charge. So my family we grew up going to Canada. We have some property up there, and we did that every summer. So I know if I want to continue doing that with my kids one day, I need to create some kind of income that will, you know, provide for that.
So did you learn this by going to college?
I did go to college for a year, but I dropped out. So
as most famous entrepreneurs do, right?
Yeah, right.
Doesn't Steve Jobs dropped out?
Yeah. I went from mechanical engineering to Cal State Fullerton, and I decided, you know what, I don't want to be an engineer. I want to do popcorn full time. And then I left college and did some other random things. You know, still was doing popcorn on the side. Give me one sec, David. Yeah. And then I was actually working for a solar company for about a year. And did some sales, moved up to being a sales manager and stuff like that. And so I was managing a team of, you know, it would range from 16 to 30 because it was really high turnover in the solar market. Where do you want to go?
Up there.
Up here?
Yeah. Unless I don't like you walking on the... So I get the name of your company right behind it, too.
Yeah, brand new top, and it's like, we've only used it for like 2 weeks. It's already getting really dirty. I hate that. Because when we're down here so late, there's so much moisture in the air that everything gets like a layer of water on it. And so it just makes it look a little dirty. But, where were we? What were we talking about?
We're talking about what got you started.
Went to Cal State Fullerton for a year, studied mechanical engineering. From there I decided I didn't want to sit behind a desk and draw in AutoCAD or SolidWorks, you know, for my whole life. So, and I knew this was, you know, an option. Like I've seen so many other vendors be successful, and I thought, you know, why can't I do that? Like they did it, I can obviously do it, right? I can probably do it better. And so here I am. Here we are. You know, we're very presentable. That's that's how it goes.
Well,
So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is Jim Gibson again with Gibson Group, and where we talk about businesses and business. And we had someone screaming and yelling in the background the whole
We've got
time.
our favorite guest here today.
And your name again is?
My name is Jaeger.
Jaeger?
Yep.
Thank you, Jaeger. And the name of your company is
Is,
Poppin' Dude
Poppin'
Kettle
Duo.
Corn.
Yep.
So, man, you come to Oceanside, you gotta have.
Gotta come by.
You got to come by and get the kettle corn. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a tradition in Oceanside, isn't it?
I
Oh, it's
think so.
becoming a
It is
tradition.
now. Yeah, it definitely is. So,
Well,
come and get
fantastic.
some fish tacos and yeah.
Yeah, there's a little area of food and stuff like that. The amphitheater is there, and of course the ocean is right there in the pier. You're right underneath the pier.
Exactly.
And that person screaming and yelling for hours is enough to drive you nuts.
Oh yeah.
Hey, thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Hey, welcome back. And here's some of my evaluation of what this young man is doing, which, by the way, he's fantastic. And I could give him some advice on how, some of the things he needs to think about, but I tell you what, he is right on what he's doing. And just an example of something that's going to grow. It's something that he answered a lot of the questions about how to start a business, what he's doing, where his passion is. I hear a lot of people say, don't follow your passion. Well, sometimes if you're an entrepreneur, you need to follow the things that are interesting to you. But his focus is on business, not just popcorn, but it's business. So I call this end section here, the good, the bad, but not the ugly. Remember that movie, Good, Bad, and the Ugly? That was kind of an interesting movie. But in this case, we're going to talk about the good, and we're going to talk about the things that he needs to focus on for the future. First of all, he mentioned that he had experience. He worked for someone else for a certain time period. That person went out of business. He learned some lessons from that person. And so he's applied those lessons to his business. And by the way, I'm often on that Strand area. It's called the Strand. It's a strip that goes for about a mile along the beach in Oceanside, California. And I often go there and just do walking and thinking and stuff like that. It's really beautiful. So I've seen this young man doing his business for a long time, or for a time period, I don't know how long. So I decided I would ask him if he'd mind being interviewed. The second thing I think he's doing really well is he has goals. If you notice, he talks about he's going to go to the other end of what they call the Strand, and he's going to open up another little hut there, a little tent with selling popcorn and lemonade. So he knows his audience. He knows his audience as far as tourists visiting Oceanside. They're going to want that popcorn. They're going to definitely want that lemonade because it's really hot there during the summer. So he's going to grow with that. Now, he is kind of seasonal. So that's one of the things that he has to plan for financially to make sure it's seasonable. And I did not talk to him about his financial planning, but he seemed to have a pretty good grip on it. So he knows himself. He knows he's an entrepreneur. You notice he talks about the fact that he tried college, but it was too boring, and he quit. And you're going to see that in a lot of entrepreneurs, some famous entrepreneurs, Microsoft, Google. Well, maybe not Google, Microsoft, some of the others, and it's slipping my mind, but I'm sure you can look them up. A lot of the big businesses are actually run by, I wouldn't call them college dropouts because it sounds like they failed. It seems like college bored people. So you don't have to have a college degree to start a small business. In fact, it may actually hinder you. You don't need an MBA, a master's in business administration to start a business. So I like the way this young man started his business. He started it small, and he learned his lessons. Now he could probably go somewhere else, another town, and start it just like that because he's learned all his lessons. And in fact, if I got an MBA, Master's in Business Administration, got many years ago. It was pretty good. I learned a lot. But I didn't learn about how to start a business. I didn't learn about how to be an entrepreneur. So if you're watching this, you might want to consider giving this young man an audience, at least for 1 or 2 classes, so he could talk to future MBAs. If you're a professor teaching a Master's in Business Administration or even business, even in junior college, you need to contact this young man and see if he'll come out and do a couple hours worth of interviews with your students so they can learn that just getting an MBA and getting a business degree doesn't mean you know anything about starting a business or running a business. It just means that you have very specific knowledge about contracts, things like that, but not how to start a business. So he has that. He thinks ahead, and I like that. He's saying, in the future, not only do I have goals, but this is how I'm going to do it. And I heard Zig Ziglar used to say this, that sometimes people don't want to start a business because they need to know from beginning to end how something is going to run. And that's not necessarily true. You don't have to know from beginning to end to see how, before you start a business. And he pointed out, Zig Ziglar pointed out the fact that, you don't start out in the morning to drive somewhere and say, I have to have all green lights all the way until my destination before I even start the first one. So this young man has figured that out, that he doesn't have to have all the green lights. But what he has to have is a plan, and he plans as far as he can see. I'm talking mentally now, as far as he can see in his business. And the old thing from Zig used to say, you go as far as you possibly can, and then when you get there, you'll figure out how to get to the next point. then you'll see more at that point, and you'll see more opportunities, more ways to do it. So he didn't wait until everything was an answer for this young man. He decided he was going to go into business. He knew it was going to work. He knew how it was going to work. He had a background, did his research, everything else. So he went as far as he possibly could go, or shortly it will be when he opens up that second location. Maybe he'll go down to Carlsbad, California, the next major town south of Oceanside, California. But he violates some things, and I got to give him credit, and this is not criticism on his part, or I'm not trying to criticize him because I'm very impressed with this young man, but he violates some of the issues in starting a company, and that is ease of entry. How easy it is. I mean, if you can be in business and sell popcorn, so can the other guy 2 days later be in business to sell popcorn. But he moderated that thing because he has a permit from the city. And so it's kind of hard. The city's not going to let you, open up a ton of these things on the Strand. So he kind of has a protected monopoly here. And so the ease of getting in business, now that door is shut, so he's kind of addressed that issue without even knowing that was an issue. And let's see some of the other things. He has good customer experience. He knows what the customer is going to be willing to pay for his products. So he violates it by ease of entry, but he loses in control. The city at any time can pull back his permit and he'd be out of business. So even though he's taken into consideration the ease of entry and competition, he has an additional problem, which is the control that the city has over him, the city of Oceanside. He can pull his permit at any time. The next thing he needs to consider is he's trading his time for money. He has to be there. He's dealing in cash, so people can his employees can easily steal from him. He needs to be there, so he's trading his time for money. But at the same time, he's getting really good, valuable information. So I started this segment, the good, the bad, and there is no ugly here. But the bottom line is that I think this young man will do fantastic, and he's learning more than you're ever going to learn in a Master's of Business Administration. So again, my name is Jim Gibson. Thank you for coming to my channel. Very much appreciate it, and I hope you're having a wonderful day.